Alright, I'm gonna show you how to clean up and sharpen just an old chisel. This is actually a nice marbles chisel, and I want to clean it up and get it real sharp. And I just discovered a good way to do it. First, let's get this cleaned up. This has got some goo still on it. I might even take take a block or something and some like 220 grit sandpaper and just clean off some of the. I put it at an angle and I just pull it towards myself to get some of that grunge cleaned off. So, and of course do the flat side. Don't want that getting stuck. So what I use for sharpening are these diamond stones that I get from Harbor Freight. You can get them for around $10, and you can tell I've had several of them over the years, and they're pretty nifty. I use them for a lot of things in the shop, especially sharpening my chisels. This has 4 grits. It's 200, 300, 400, and 600. So we're going to start with 200 on this chisel because it's pretty bad shape. So basically what I do, and you can see it's been sharpened along many different ways, and there's a lot of different ridges and edges on it. We're going to try to get that to a pretty good hone. Anyways, this is basically how it's done. So I'm setting it on the highest grit, or the roughest grit, and then I'm going to set the chisel at, I'm going to hold it in my hand like that, and I'm going to find the angle, rock it on the top until it stops, and that's your angle. And so then I'll hold the chisel with my fingers down on that, and I'll go in at a 45-degree angle and move my whole arm. I'm going to move my whole arm, trying to hold that angle on the chisel. And you can see it has a little bit of grinding to go on there. But I found this a very effective way to sharpen my chisels. And then we want to look and see where the scratches are. You can see the scratches cover the whole surface of the chisel, and it's getting to the tip. So that's a good sign. So I just want to keep going at that. If you're ambidextrous, you can go both ways too if you want to get it to hone it down a lot. It'll make it like an X pattern on the chisel if you have a ways to grind. So, and I try to use as much of the possible, so you can see the X pattern on that, and it's grinding some of that away. We don't necessarily need to grind some of that old wheel marks away, but we just want to get a nice tip on it with the same angle. So we're going to continue this way. Just rock it to find your angle. Put your finger down right where it needs to go, and then just move your whole arm. Now with 200 grit, once you got that whole surface, so we got a little more in that corner to do, so I'm just going to try to favor the corner a little bit and just try to get a flat edge on that. So you can see how bad that is on the end there. But if we get right to the edge, we're going to get a nice hone on that corner. This chisel needs a lot, actually needs a lot more than just this, but I'm just going to give it a good hone for today. Rock it, find your angle, and get it on that corner. So I'm all the way to the corner on that. I guess we can live with that, it seems. Now I'll just go a little bit more. Make sure you're at the right angle. Just keep your arm steady. You don't need any jigs or anything like that for this type of hone. We just want a nice, there we go. Now we're all the way to the edge. So this is very important. We want to do our flat side. Just holding it flat against the chisel takes the burrs off. And with this I go with the X pattern. I go both ways to make it even. So that cleans that up nicely. Now you can see all those the little steel hairs on the end there. So I'm going to take this block. It has a piece of leather on it with some compound on it. And I just pull it against that to get that out. There's other ways you could do. You could use a leather strap or whatever, but you want to get those hairs off of the chisel before you go on to the next grit. And that's already pretty sharp, but we want to hone that down to like a razor edge. So we'll go up a grit to 300. Set your angle. This is where it starts, you know, you want to get very particular to get the angle that you want. And you don't have to push hard. You want to make sure that whole surface is getting cut on the chisel. Maybe 10, 12 times. So now you can see how the new grit, you can see the difference of the grits. That is, and make sure that that grit covers the whole surface. And it's still pretty coarse, but you can see the lines. You can see the lines go all the way across. And that. So we get our flat edge. This way. Having a flat chisel is very important. That's the secret of having a sharp chisel, is keeping this edge flat. And then that's your honed edge. So we want to get the hairs off. Yeah, you can feel that edge getting sharp. Okay, now we go up a grit. Pretty nifty little blocks, you know, around $10. I have several of them. I've had this for several years, and you can see how worn out it is. All right, let's try this 400 grit. .45-degree angle, and then whatever angle is your chisel. I think they're like 60 degrees. I'm not sure, but you don't even have to know that as long as every cut is at the same angle. So you can see the new grit comes all the way across the grain, and it's not. It looks, I don't know if you can see that, but you can, there's the original angle and there's what we've cut. So it's not the 60 degrees, it's more like maybe 50 degrees. But at least it's getting right to the edge and it's cutting right across. So that's a good thing. So we get our flat side. X pattern. And that makes sure you're getting all the way down. That doesn't usually get ground. Pull off the now that should be a pretty sharp edge. You know, you want to, what I do is I see if I can shave with it, shave some hairs off. It's going to get where you can shave some hairs off of your hand if you have hair on your hand. So we're up at 400 grit, and that's pretty sharp. All right, let's go all the way. This is the final hone. 600 grit. This is where you really need to get a fine angle on there, and you can feel it just slide across nice. And try not to rock that chisel at all. Making this 45-degree angle like that and holding it up like that really holds it steady, you know, as opposed to doing this, you know, with your angle, because you're always rocking around. Somehow having this 45-degree angle on it makes it very steady. Going across. And I can tell if I made a mistake. If I rock up, you can feel it grabbing, which is not a good thing. You want it to slide across that surface nicely. And let's take a look. Now it's going to start looking shiny there, see? You got a nice shiny edge. You know, a little bit of grit on there. Just a few more and we got it. Now you can barely feel it bite now. And then get your flat edge. And we want to, now you want to get some of the green compound on these, if you have one. This is just optional. You don't really need that. You can use a leather strop or something to pull those hairs off. And at this point we can do this until we can get a nice mirror shine, but I'm not going to do that for you today. Just want to pull those hairs off because those hairs will make the chisel dull. Now that's a pretty sharp edge. So we went from a very dull chisel to a sharp edge. You shave your hair nice on there. I want to cut myself, but that shaves hair is nice. One good test you can do is you get a piece of wood and run it along the wood, and if it makes really nice curls on the wood, the more it curls, the sharper it is. So see that, how it curls up like that? That shows you that that chisel is nice and sharp. Obviously this needs some serious help, but at least I got it to where it's sharp. So I hope this video helps, and good luck with your chisel sharpening, and give me a like. Let me know if you like this video and if it's helped you a lot. Appreciate it. Thank you.